Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to another episode of Sapient Thoughts, where we discuss theophilosophical issues, where we refute those arguments, those feeble and weak arguments of the detractors of Islam, in addition to making our own arguments for the veracity of Islam. Today, inshallah, we're going to be discussing a particular verse, and actually there's more than one of them in the Quran which make these kinds of references, but we'll focus on one because the same thing that can be said of this verse can be said of all of the other ones which have similar phraseologies. And this is a verse in chapter number 55 of the Quran, verses 19 to 21, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, مَرَجَ الْبَحْرَيْنِ يَلْتَقِيَانِ بَيْنَهُمَا بَرْزَخٌ لَا يَبْغِيَانِ, that He let free the two seas of water, and He put between them a barrier that you cannot transgress between. Now, I recently saw, and I saw this before, a long time ago, a video of Richard Dawkins. Richard Dawkins actually going to a school with some Muslim students, some young students, and this is a common tactic. You go for the weak ones, the untrained ones, the students that they're not theologians, they're not learned, they're still actually even haven't finished their GCSEs. And this is the kind of engagements that Richard Dawkins and the rest of the New Atheist movement are used to doing with the Muslims. You get some weak one and you try and brainwash them into your worldview. And he was talking to these little girls or these young girls, and he was trying to persuade them that really he was that the Quran was wrong. He wasn't saying it in any explicit type of way, but he was being very pedantic. Maybe we can get a clip of this video and see what he's doing here.
We learned about science and the Quran. By the end of the day, we all came to one conclusion, that the Quran is evidence of science. So what science has proved to be just recently is already proved in the Quran 1400 years ago when it was written.
But that doesn't include evolution, apparently.
No, it doesn't.
So what does it include?
It includes stuff like the shape of the earth, about the mountains, how they secure the earth.
And how in the sea, the two waters, they don't mix, the salty water and the drinking water, so it's pure for us to drink. They don't mix, but they pass through each other.
Salty water and fresh water don't mix in the sea?
No, it's like
it's a natural barrier.
I was shocked that RE elbows out science like this.
Now, as you saw, this man was badgering the kids. He doesn't want to go to trained theologians, Muslim theologians, or public figures, or whatever it may be. He's going for the children. And really, he's arguing that this is false in the Quran. If the idea is that you have these, the sweet water, the fresh water, and the salty water, that there is a barrier between no such barrier exists. He said you can go to the kitchen. Yes, you can put the sweet, you can put these two waters together and mix them and disprove the Quran. This is such a weak and lazy approach. Don't you want to research what this verse is talking about in the first place? Because if you just went to even an English translation of the exegesis of such verses, you don't realize that the prominent or the most popular exegetical opinion on this was that the barrier in question were the land masses that were separating seas from rivers. For example, the Arabian Peninsula. For example, other land masses that separate these things. So on the one side of this land mass, you have maybe a sea, and the other side, you have a river, and within the land, you have a river flowing. This is what is being referred to here. That God, in His greatness, is able to allow such different types of waters to exist within the sphere of the earth. And this is what's wrong with that? What's so unscientific about that? Why are you so lazy as to not go to a tafsir in English and check out that was the primary exegetical method of understanding this verse? You see, and this is what happens when you don't do your research. Yes, there are some scholars who say it's an invisible barrier, and this has now gone to the scientific miracles narrative and so on. But we're not even going to go there. Some say it's talking about estuaries, and others say it's this, and it's talking about... I'm not going there. This is enough for me to say that your shenanigans has been exposed. That you didn't even make an attempt. You didn't even make an attempt to try and understand the verse and read up some opinions on it. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.